Alright, welcome back to Aaron's 1972 Datsun 510. Today, we are going to finish placing this piece here, start preparing to put this trunk floor drop-off here by cutting out the old piece, finish welding in underneath here, smooth off the spot welds here, finish the spot welds here on the rocker panel as well as on the underside, and then trim it to fit, and call it a day. So hopefully some quick work if the welding goes good today. Let's get to it. Holy cow, we are on video 50. I did not think that this was going to take so long to finish, and I'm not even done yet. But I do have quite a few more videos in store, so stick around. So right into the work. I start cutting out the old panel that's there in the trunk. With that out of the way, I go back to the arch and start welding in the final patch piece. I'm also making for sure to cool the metal as I go with a damp rag. Moving under the car, I finish welding the arch in there, and I finalize the inner sill to the rocker panel welds, and then clean up the excess plug welds. Times like this, and lately, I wish that I had done a full rotisserie restoration. It would have been so much nicer. But it is what it is. Also, do you like my socks? I decided to try them out to reduce sparks hitting my legs. It didn't work that well. You probably won't see very many more long socks in here. As I'm plug welding these pieces in, again, it's clamp, make for sure that there's minimal distance between the two pieces you're wanting to weld together, and then tacking them into place, and then moving to the next one. Moving the clamp as I go. Now I'm taking the angle grinder and using the cutoff wheel to form the shape of the pieces throughout, as well as grinding off the excess welds here on these new plug welds that I just installed. Moving back to the back of the car, I clean off the spots so I can weld the drop panel to the inner arch, and then clean off some more of the welds up there on that inner arch piece. Back to the trunk drop. I mock it into place and start looking at where the battery box would best go. The areas I based it on was clearing the drop panel and the rear frame, if you can call it that. I removed the spot welds, cut through the frame flange that originally connected that to the trunk floor. This allowed me to bend it down to bring my battery box inward on the car. I also wanted to bring the box as far forward on the car as possible, just to keep the weight closer to the inside of the wheels. I also don't want the box so low that it visually stuck out where you could see it from behind the car. So the location I settled on I think will work quite well as I move forward, but I had to do a lot of measuring. I found my pink ribbon tape as well as just a straight edge and a ruler were really the best in order to make for sure that I had the right marks. I also then used a right angle or a T-square, so that way I would ensure I was making straight lines off of each other. As I look back, this battery box is way too heavy, and if I were to do it again, I would get a lighter metal and allow less tolerance in the bends on the box. So that way it would be easier to slot into the spot that it goes. As always, continue to cut and grind and hammer, and then try again, and then cut and grind and hammer, and just keep on doing it until you have nothing left of the old car and a brand new battery box in the car now. Alright, so you've seen me messing around with the battery box that I built for the battery I've got on hand. Yeah, it's taking up a little bit more space than I really wanted to, but I think it'll be fine. So I've got the arch fully back in. Now I've got to put in this drop panel, and then I'll do some more cutting and cleaning for the battery box. and then it's onto the fender. Now I'm working to clean all these surfaces to ensure that I can install the drop panel. I decided to try the spot welder again. I've had very little luck these past few times, so I just use the welder to reinforce the area as I move forward. But as always, you have to remember to clean off all of the surfaces so that way your welds will penetrate much better and you will have better parts as you move forward. If you look, I'm actually about to make you watch paint dry. Check this out. And dry. Pretty cool, huh? Now I will cut out the brand new piece that I just put in the car, a chunk, so I can slide the battery box in. I tried to use my panel saw to cut the drop panel. I had zero luck with that thing. I believe a better one would be a great addition to the tool chest. I just don't think now is the time to get one. I know they'll come in handy, but it's always, as always, I just went back to the angle grinder. I realized that the box was a bit bowed and the welds were catching on the metal, so I took the box out, ground down the welds, took a couple hammer blows to square up the box, and then reinstalled it. And it actually installed quite a bit better once I did that. Well, there wasn't a lot of big actions today, but I did get some stuff done, so this will be a short update. As you can see, I have the battery box installed. It's just set in there for right now. I'll go ahead, I need to paint it, I need to do some other stuff to it, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. If you look underneath the car, you can see that it sits right there against the outer fender inner liner there on the drop pan, and tucks down where the battery is mostly out of the way. I'm actually very happy with the way that turned out now. It isn't pretty. I know it's not pretty, but whenever I get it, the metal formed down to the old metal and tack it into place and do a whole bunch of other stuff around it, I'll then be able to sink the battery down quite a bit lower, which will help. And it offsets the driver since I sit up in the upper left-hand side of the car. Again, out of the way, allows me to run a pretty big battery, even but sunk still nonetheless, freeing up a little bit of trunk space. While this is a shorter video, in this video we got the wheel arch finalized, including grinding down some of the spot welds. We had the rocker panel finished welding that to the inner sill. We have the drop panel installed here. It's not fully welded to the rest of the panel, and then we just mocked up the battery box. If you like what you see, go ahead and click some of the buttons around here. Maybe stay on the channel, watch a few more videos, or subscribe so you can get notified of my newest updates. As always, thank you for watching, and God bless.